but I go all out of my way just to deliver this.
All Attractive Media, Oakland, Detroit, Dwele G. What do you think about the current situation as far as, we've had some slangs, we've had some real shady business going on as far as police dealing with our people on the streets and the kind of the legal system, not really handling their business. What are your thoughts on some of that right now as a current sort of event?
I wish I had an answer, but I don't. I mean, I think on both sides there are things that we need to change. Some of the cops. I can't even really. It's bigger than just the cops. We need to acknowledge the fact that race is prevalent. You know what I'm saying? I just had a conversation with a guy with an older white guy a couple days ago, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "I don't see color." And I'm like, "You do see color. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said that. That would have been the first thing that you after the greetings, that would have been the first thing that you said to me." I feel like on our end, we need to stop doing certain things to kind of egg them on and make them want to, give them an opportunity to lash out. And I'm not saying that off of this Mike Brown or the Trayvon, none of that, because there are things that have happened recently that definitely weren't the kids' faults. You know what I'm saying? But I see a lot of people kind of taunting the police, you know what I'm saying, and doing wild things like that. So on our side, we need to stop and look at what we're doing. But on their side, they need to change a lot of things also.
I talk about that a lot myself, just in the sense of the way people are presenting themselves and carrying themselves. And obviously, as far as our music, black music, there's a lot of art imitates life, life imitates art. So people who are being upheld as role models maybe aren't the best role models, and a lot of our youth and cats older than us, you know what I mean, are having a certain kind of look. I think that attracts that level of profiling. That kind of seems like kind of what you were speaking on a level beyond just the recent sort of,
music. That turns into a whole nother conversation. The art imitates life, imitates art, and I don't even want to get into that because we'll be here forever. But what the labels are putting money behind and deciding to push as opposed to other things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is it the label's fault or is it the consumer's fault? You know what I'm saying? Does the consumer want the craziness, or is the label making the consumer want the craziness? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the labels clearly want to steer it a certain way and let maybe not the best aspects of what we do creatively shine, and they want to aim it to basically be the dumb shit, to paint us that way. And I think people are kind of falling into that.
Crazy theory about that. It might. Okay, listen. All right, you have this guy right here, right? He's worked his whole life to learn, the saxophone. And he's ridiculous with it. All right, he comes out, he puts the album out, he gets critical acclaim, beautiful thing. He makes his money. Now he wants to buy labels, own labels, publishing, and all of that, right? Because he's doing something that not everybody can do. The people in charge are like, nah, we don't like that. He has too much power. Boom, knock him down. Let's get this guy over here that's doing this, and let's make that hot. Let's make everybody like that. So now you got all of these people back here looking at this guy that's doing this, making all the money, and this guy that worked his life, trying to learn and excel in music, and he's not getting any recognition because they're like, we're not honoring that. We don't see that. Do this. But now this guy that does this, when he's like, I want labels, I want more money, I want this, that, and the other, the people up top are like, whatever, we can easily replace you because he's doing this. We got 50,000 people over here that's doing this. You don't have 50,000 people that's doing what this guy over here is doing. He can call the shots. But the way they have it now is easily replaceable.
So that kind of sounds like a cookie cutter, mass-produced conveyor belt artist type situation where they can keep rotating the hot new flavor every couple of months while there's real composers and real musicians who are pumping different vibes that are really based on real musicianship, but that's not really profitable from a business standpoint. That kind of seems like what you're describing, which is ingenious, and I love that you pointed that out.
You see the youth, you don't see the youth going to pick up an instrument or trying to learn an instrument because there's no money in that. There's no money.
How does that play into yourself, multi-talented musician in the sense of multiple instruments? Does that make you feel like you need to maybe go a different way to ensure that you have continuity or more gigs? Or, I mean, does that make you more of a niche type situation? Do you see that fading away as far as the real pocket of soul type sound? You know what I mean? Like, do you see that as fading?
I'm gonna say this. What I love about soul music is the fact that it's not the hot right now. You know, when I see people come to the show and when I see people support an album or support, you know, what I'm doing, I know that they're there because they genuinely like what I do, not because it's the hot flavor right now. You know what I'm saying? They're genuine. So I get people that genuinely like what I do, you know, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Real feet, y'all. Real down, dog.